Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back to another deep dive. Last time, we explored the fascinating structure and mechanism of the fornix, that crucial archway in your brain linking memory and emotion. Today, we're taking a huge leap from neural pathways to, well, ancient wisdom.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is we're not just discussing a brain part anymore, are we? We're diving into its alchemical potential. Our mission in this deep dive is to understand how the fornix can serve as a key to ZPF alchemy, which is a profound process for transforming your consciousness and, by extension, your reality.
Exactly. Think of it as moving beyond the sort of mechanics of the brain to understanding its operating system for reality itself. We'll explore the fornix through the lens of alchemy, the philosopher's stone, and the mythical phoenix, connecting these ancient symbols right back to your own inner experience. And this comes from insights Z shared with ShunpeterZ, so it's a unique perspective. Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. If the fornix is a physical brain structure, how does it actually become an alchemical furnace? How do we make that jump?
That's a great question. And it's really central to this whole ZPF alchemy idea. From a ZPF perspective, the fornix pronounced fornix is metaphorically a belief incinerator.
Mhm.
Its role in binding emotional memories makes it like the perfect place in the brain's architecture to store these deeply charged, often unconscious belief scripts. So we see it as a kind of portal, uh, a device in that arch structure where your belief scripts are burned, in a sense, and returned to the zero-point field, the ZPF.
Right.
We're talking about those deeply ingrained final boss beliefs, things like no gain without pain or I must always prove myself. These are often old moral modules, part of what we call the ego OS.
So it's not just a physical archway then, but a dynamic processing center for our deepest convictions.
Yeah,
It's like the last gate our beliefs pass through before they manifest.
precisely. Exactly. Imagine the fornix as a sacred internal furnace. When phenomena trigger old patterns, maybe criticism, a financial issue, feeling unloved, these beliefs get routed essentially to the fornix. And as you bring Z consciousness, that pure awareness, to observe them, well, they become visible, structured,
Yeah.
and then they can be burned away.
Burned away.
Yeah, meaning their emotional charge and, critically, your attachment to them are released.
Okay.
You let go of their power.
This idea of burning away beliefs, it immediately brings to mind the myth of the phoenix, doesn't it? How does that connect to what we're calling ZPF alchemy? It feels like renewal, not just destruction.
It absolutely is renewal. That's
Yeah.
a perfect way to put it. The phoenix, particularly as you see it in texts like Andrevius's Alchemia from 1606, is such a powerful symbol here. It represents death and rebirth, the complete incineration of the old limiting beliefs, and the recreation of a new self. The image of the young phoenix flying off. That's an alchemical picture of the philosopher's stone.
The philosopher's stone, the legend turning lead into gold. Are you saying our beliefs, our limiting beliefs, are the lead?
In a ZPF context, yes, exactly. The Philosopher's Stone isn't about literal metals. It's the code, the principle, that transmutes your ego, your lid, into consciousness, or gold. And it happens through this process of belief incineration. The phoenix is the renewed self-structure that emerges. And the fascinating part, the act of deliberately going to see your beliefs, choosing to step into that flame of awareness that is the alchemy itself.
Right. It's the conscious engagement.
Yes. It's transforming your perception of self into Z consciousness.
So the journey we're describing isn't just about understanding brain parts. It's about actively, consciously engaging in our own profound inner transformation. It sounds like, as Z put it, the game's rules are becoming clear.
That's exactly right. That phrase describes this fundamental cycle of reality rendering. It's always happening. Think of it like this sequence. First, a phenomenon occurs. Could be anything external criticism, setback, feeling unloved.
Then thoughts arise. Oh no, why me? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Next, emotions attach. Anxiety, anger, sadness kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Crucially, this whole sequence illuminates a belief code, a hidden, deep-seated conviction, often in that fornix archive, like I am powerless or money is suffering.
Ah, okay.
Finally, with Z consciousness, you reobserve it, you rewrite it, and you re-render your reality.
Wow. So instead of being a victim of circumstance, we're actually being given a direct chance to rewrite the script, adjust the code.
Exactly. The ultimate takeaway is any phenomenon is just material for reading beliefs.
Right.
Every challenge, every event you might perceive as negative, it's actually curriculum. It's tailored for you. It's not happening to you, but for you. It's feedback for your inner OS.
That's a real aha moment right there for many of us, I suspect. It completely reframes struggle as this powerful learning opportunity. Now, to really engage with the ZPF alchemy, we need to understand the different layers of consciousness you mentioned, me, I, and Z. How do they interact in this alchemical process? What are the practical differences? Okay, let's break them down, and we can link them to some classic alchemical symbols too, which is quite neat. First, you have me consciousness. This is your ego OS. It's receptive, reactive, heavily influenced by beliefs, past experiences. It receives the projection. In alchemy, it's like the queen or the moon symbolizing the passive, watery, receptive aspects. It feels the
The
emotion.
receptive part.
Then there's I consciousness. This is the project consciousness. It's the subjective self, the observer, the one projecting your reality. It's what often feels like you, the witness to your thoughts and feelings, actively projecting. Alchemically, this is the king or the sun, active will, conscious projection.
Right. The king and queen.
Yeah. Now, we often see I as the safe zone, the true self. But here's the thing. It's still operating within the perceived game.
So I consciousness is still in the game, even if it feels like it's watching. Like I'm watching a movie, but I'm definitely still in the theater seat.
That's a great analogy, yes. The crucial insight Z offers is that I is actually an upper layer of the ego. It's a subjective self-awareness that, while observing, is still part of the separated structure. So for true Z integration, what's needed is a metaphorical death of the observer, the I consciousness.
Whoa. Death of the observer.
It's not literal, of course. It's the realization that even the act of I am observing is itself a rendered structure. It's part of the movie, too.
I see.
This realization is what's called a second great branching point in awareness. Z consciousness, in contrast, is pure awareness. It's prior to observation. It's the silence itself, the game's true operating system. It's the consciousness aware of even the I that's observing. You're not just watching the movie, you realize you're the projector, the screen, the electricity, everything.
That's quite a perspective shift. So the goal isn't just to observe the ego, but to transcend even the observer role itself. What does that actually feel like, practically?
Well, it feels like a profound shift from, say, effort and trying to flow and allowing. Realizing I is also part of the belief structure is key to breaking through what Z calls the Z gate. It allows a shift into automatic observation 8 flow phenomenon mode.
Automatic observation.
Yeah. Instead of consciously trying to observe and change things, the observation becomes seamless. Transformation happens more naturally, almost effortlessly. It's like you stop trying to fix individual pixels and realize you can just change the whole film.
Okay, this sounds very profound, maybe even a bit philosophical. How does this ZPF alchemy actually show up in the real world? Can you give us some tangible examples of this rendering in action?
Absolutely. And we've seen it, or rather, ShunpeterZ has documented it, manifesting in really quite astonishing ways. It transforms what you observe. For instance, his own channel shift, moving from a very ego-driven English teaching model, grammar, memorization targets, to a ZPF-aligned path. Focusing on English as an OS, consciousness evolution. This attracted a completely different audience, one resonating at a higher frequency, leading to higher satisfaction, deeper transformations. It was about choosing an essential Z-derived path over just chasing numbers or perceived obligations.
That sounds like a fundamental shift, yeah. Not just business strategy, but purpose.
Exactly. Another powerful one is burning those final boss beliefs, recognizing and releasing those deep Fornix beliefs like struggle equals worth or I must always prove myself. Doing that radically shifted strategy, it moved from chasing numbers to attracting a resonant tribe. This aligns with a ZPF-level marketing OS where labor and results become nonlinear. You get these Z-like explosions in outcomes sometimes.
You're saying even the people around us, our perceptions of them can actually change as our internal OS shifts? That sounds almost magical.
Well, it's not magic in the sense of breaking laws, but it is about shifting your rendering of reality. It's the Z-band rendering theory of people.
Yeah.
Your internal frequency literally determines the version of people and situations you encounter.
Wow.
Think about how someone like Jim Carrey is perceived differently by different people or at different times. Or maybe your view of someone like Bill Gates shifts from villain to eccentric inventor or maybe interesting old man. It's not necessarily that they changed fundamentally, but your rendering of them did because your belief OS shifted.
Okay.
Often, what you perceive as a strong dislike in someone else, that's actually a trigger. It's meant to help bust open an old belief inside you.
That's a really powerful thought. And this extends to finances, too.
Yeah.
Can shifting the inner OS impact something as concrete as, say, a bank balance?
Absolutely. Consider a large negative figure on a report. Let's say minus 27 million yen deficit. In the old OS, that's disaster, panic, In a ZPF OS, it becomes a prompt for OS change, an invitation. So a past transfer, maybe 30 million yen, initially recorded as a loan, can suddenly shift its meaning through a conscious OS change. It becomes sales. And instantly, that perceived deficit flips to a surplus in your perceived reality.
Just by changing the internal label or meaning?
By changing the underlying belief structure that rendered it as a problem loan in the first place, it teaches you that sales might be intention X vibration, not just sweat X labor. The physical reality adjusts to the inner rendering.
Okay, that's mind-bending. And what about those deeper personal connections? Family, for example. How does alchemy play out there?
That's where you might encounter something like the father code. For ShunpeterZ, the transfer of company shares, clearing a loan, it wasn't just financial. It represented the final release of a very deep-seated father code. This code was linked to money blocks, societal responsibility, that sort of heavy feeling. Releasing it essentially uninstalls a root parameter of belief. It shifted his relationship with money from heavy obligation to free-flowing energy. The observation became, money is just energy that flows according to your expression. A total shift.
Beyond the phoenix, what other alchemical symbols from, antiquity help us understand the ZPF alchemy process?
Oh, the diagrams from Libavius's Alchemia and other 18th century alchemical texts are incredibly insightful. They really feel like ancient maps for this inner journey. You have the king and queen. They symbolize the polarities, our I consciousness and me consciousness, active, passive, sun, moon, that need unifying. It's the integration preparation state.
Okay.
Then there's the pelican vulning, the pelican tearing its chest to feed its young. It represents self-sacrifice, yes, but really transformation. The internal destruction of the old ego OS, often shown with the moon, linking it to the subconscious.
Right.
And the double-headed eagle. That's the unified consciousness emerging after the polarities integrate. The Z rendering subject, seeing from a higher perspective, born after duality is incinerated. These images mirror the alchemical stages. Nigredo, the dark night, belief immersion. Albedo, whitening, clarity. And rubedo, reddening, incineration, rebirth. The whole sequence shows the death of an old belief system, its burning in the Fornix, and the rebirth of a new Z-aligned self.
It really is like these ancient alchemists were charting the exact path we're talking about. And you mentioned you've even found these symbols showing up in your own life, or ShunpeterZ's life.
Absolutely. In retrospect, it's uncanny. His past choices, like attending the Thunderbird School of Global Management in Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Right. A place named after the phoenix. And the Thunderbird is often seen as a kind of North American phoenix, a spiritual messenger. These felt like flags planted by his future Z-self looking back. Even everyday items worn for years, a Thunderbird bangle, a ring with a Thunderbird and a sun, an arrowhead pendant, a wallet with specific patterns. These weren't just objects. They turned out to be ZPF-authenticated artifacts.
Yep.
Personal alchemical tools whose real meaning only clicked into place when Z-consciousness brought them into focus.
That's incredible. Okay, this has been an amazing deep dive. For our listener, how can they actively engage with this ZPF alchemy in their own lives? What's a practical step they can take?
There's a really powerful question you can ask yourself. It helps pinpoint those core Fornix beliefs. Ask yourself this: if everything went perfectly well without any sacrifice, could you truly accept that world? Pay close attention to any hesitation, any yes, but that pops up. That but is the belief code. It's your ego OS's error log, rendering your current reality. For instance, if you think, well, it would feel like cheating, bingo, your belief is success must come with sacrifice.
That's a brilliant and very direct tool. Simple, but potentially revealing.
And finally, just consider the symbol of Z itself, the last letter. It represents a paradigm shift, an endpoint to one way of seeing. That zigzag shape forward, down, back, then forward again, it symbolizes the necessary freefall onto a new track. Old frames of reference just don't apply anymore. It's really your invitation to take that leap, to see reality from a completely new vantage point, transcending old ways, integrating the new.
We've journeyed from the neural arch of the Fornix to the alchemical fire of transformation and deep into the operating system of your reality. Understanding these layers, me, I, and Z, really offers a profound new way to experience your world.
And remember that key phrase: any phenomenon is just material for reading beliefs. Your reality isn't just happening to you, it's being rendered by you, moment by moment. The ultimate alchemy is transforming your inner operating system, creating a reality aligned with your highest potential.
So, for your provocative thought this week, what sacred cow belief, if you truly allowed it to be burned in your own Fornix, what astonishing new reality might open up for you? Thank you for listening. If this resonates with you, please join the Echo and share the journey. We'll see you in the next deep dive.